Now we will begin the 19th Kawasaki International Eco-Business Forum. Today, I will serve as a moderator. My name is Fukahori of Kawasaki Environment Research Institute. And please note that today's forum is being broadcasted simultaneously in English and Japanese via YouTube Live. On the opening, we would like to invite Mayor of Kawasaki City, Mr. Norihiko Fukuda, to say a few words of greeting. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Norihiko Fukuda, Mayor of Kawasaki City. And since 2005, we have continued the Kawasaki International Eco-Business Forum, the UNEP, and the other relevant organizations' support. Thanks to their support, we are holding this for the first time in 3 years on a face-to-face basis. And so far, we have done this online in a few years, but I'm very glad to see you face-to-face. And before the COVID, in this venue, every year, people got together and they exchange opinions by checking the current conditions. And the overseas friends who are watching this online on YouTube are very much welcome next year to share the challenges of various cities to solve issues. And today's theme, Today's theme is our challenge toward plastic recycling city. And we are having a very excellent panelist today. And 100% plastic recycling city, that's our goal for Kawasaki City. And starting from this year, a plastic recycling project had started. And Kawasaki is blessed with recyclers. And there are 4 major recycling companies in Kawasaki City. So PET bottles, the 7 times of plastic PET bottles generated in Kawasaki can be recycled in those companies, and the containers are 14 times. So the Kawasaki can make recycling all these materials. It's a very unique to Kawasaki. And with many other companies. Today, we have 7 & I Holdings. And also in April, we launched a project. And in August, we started to collaborate with JR East. So we are increasing the number of stakeholders to expand the recycling initiatives. And then we would like to build a good recycling-oriented society. And to the audience from around the world, I think that there maybe you have challenges and issues, and let's share those issues and try to solve them to create a recycling-oriented society. And today we have great panelists, and we appreciate them. And also, I hope that this will be a fruitful forum for everyone. This concludes my opening address. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Fukuda. And from Mr. Nakamura of UNEP, the Director of International Environmental Technology Center, we will have an address as an organizer. But Nakamura-san is now attending the COP27 on Egypt, so we have a video letter from him.
Good afternoon. My name is Takehiro Nakamura, head of the International Environmental Technology Center of the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. I'm honored to deliver an opening statement on behalf of UNEP. UNEP worked together with the Kawasaki City for the organization of the Eco-Business Forum meetings. I appreciate the kind offer of the city to invite UNEP to co-organize this year's Eco-Business Forum. The forum creates opportunities for dialogues on science-to-policy interface, technology solutions, and business approaches to address environmental challenges many cities are facing in the world. I congratulate the city of Kawasaki on the successful outcomes of the forum in the past years. The theme of this year's forum is set as challenge to establish a plastic recycling city in the circular economy and society. This is very timely as earlier this year, United Nations Environment Assembly made a resolution 5/14 entitled End Plastic Pollution towards an international legally binding instrument. In this resolution, the UN member states agreed to develop an international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including in the marine environment, and requested UNEP to convene an intergovernmental negotiating committee. In 2016, 240 million tons of plastic waste was produced globally. The recycling ratio of plastic waste is still around 14%. Plastic waste is forecasted to rise, with packaging sector being the largest generator, followed by textiles, building and construction, and transport sectors. From an estimated 353 million tons per year of plastic waste in 2019 to 1,014 million tons per year in 2060 under a business as usual scenario. We will know that the COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated the situation of the plastic packaging and personal protection gears. Plastic pollution is given global attention as evidence indicates its impact on human health and the environment. In order to address plastic pollution, UNEP advocates a life cycle approach across the whole value chain of plastics. In the analysis of the Circle of Excellence on marine litter and plastic pollution, 8 intervention pathways are proposed, namely, change consumer behavior, closing the tap to manage the plastic demand, enhance circularity, deal with legacy waste, strengthen waste management systems, strengthen governance aligned effort, enhance knowledge, the monitor effectiveness, and enhance capacity and improving financing. Among them, the important intervention pathway is enhancing circularity of plastics and plastic products. In order to enhance the recycling capacity, the important elements to enhance recycling capacity include, but not limited to, developing markets for quality secondary plastic products, introduction of recycling technologies, developing recycling policies and systems, as well as engagement of private sector and other stakeholders. It is noted that the Kawasaki City has already advanced such an approach under Kawasaki City's SDGs Future City initiatives. Kawasaki City is launching its new initiative called Kawasaki Plastic Circulation Project, which aims at providing a platform among all the stakeholders to actively implement relevant activities toward plastic circulation in the Kawasaki City. I hope that this forum will be a platform to exchange the information on good practices and initiatives of various stakeholders in the application of circular approaches to address plastic pollution. It's also important that such information would be further disseminated and approaches taken should be duplicated in Japan and outside of Japan. I wish you successful deliberations in the forum. Thank you very much.
So we had remarks as a co-organizer from Mr. Nakamura of UNEP International Environmental Technology Center. Now we would like to move on to the session, and I'm sorry to say that Mayor Fukuda will leave now due to his next official duty. Now, all speakers are kindly requested to come to the podium, please.
Again, I would like to introduce the coordinator for this session from UNEP, the program officer, Mr. Shunichi Honda. So I ask Mr. Honda to take it from here. Yes, thank you for your introduction. And hello, everyone. So this is Honda from UNEP, and I would be the session coordinator today. So first of all, I would like to introduce the panelists today. First, from the Ministry of the Environment, from the Environmental Regeneration, Resource and Circulation Bureau, Mr. Mizutani. Next is from Kawasaki City, the Environmental Protection Bureau and the Environmental Department, Mr. Ishihara. Next is from 7&I Holdings, Executive Officer, Corporate Development Division and Sustainability Development Department, Ms. Tsuryu. This is Tsuryu. Nice to meet you. Next is from JE Plan, CEO and founder, Mr. Takao. This is Takao. Nice to meet you. Lastly, from Tokyo Century Corporation, the Global Business Division 1, the Deputy General Manager, Mr. Aoki. This is Aoki. Nice to meet you. So these members are today's panelists, and we will have the panel discussion for about an hour. And the theme is the challenge of a plastic recycling city. So first of all, I would like to talk about the background of today's session. As the mayor said before, today's theme is the challenge of a plastic recycling city in a recycling-oriented economy and society. So we need to challenge ourselves to achieve the plastic recycling city. Why do we need to challenge ourselves? So when we deep dive, maybe there's something that we have forgotten. Unfortunately, we human beings tend to make the same mistakes over and over again. And today, this is an eco-business forum. So from the business perspective, we need to think about this. And it's quite obvious that all the environmental issues were caused by human beings who are pursuing the short-term profit. And human beings have forgotten something. So climate change or biodiversity danger and the pollution, all those plastic pollution problems, all those problems. So we turned the blind eye to the long-term consequences. But at least Japanese people have overcame the pollution problems, and we should know. But it's been 50 years since we started using plastics, and we repeated the same mistakes over and over again, and we have serious plastic pollution problem. As Mr. Nakamura said, so the plastic production has drastically increased, and 70% or 80% of the plastics were just used only one time. So that's the society we're living in. And don't misunderstand, please. Plastic is not the one to be blamed. The one to be blamed are the human beings who are making the mistakes over and over again. We are not disposing the plastics, and about 1/10 of the plastic production is leaking to water. And that is the cause of the marine plastic waste. And please look at the right-hand side. This is the estimate of the plastic waste until 2050. And it's not going to be decreasing, for sure. It's quite obvious. No matter how optimistic we try to assume, it will be on the rising trend. So we need to do something right now. Otherwise, we will continue to expand this plastic pollution problem. And same as the other environmental issues, it would really cause people a lot of problems. So there's a development in the global stage. As Mr. Nakamura said, in 2 weeks' time at UNEP, the first intergovernmental negotiation committee will be held. And that is to end plastic pollution. So the new international treaty will be developed, and the first negotiating committee will be held in 2 weeks' time in Uruguay. And there would be some draft developed. So what kind of treaty they are going to be developing? Which plastics would be the focus? And we don't know for sure what the contents of the treaty would be. But for the next 2 years, there would be 5 negotiation committee, and the treaty would be formed. So in the forum, in 2 years' time, the Kawasaki forum, we will be sure that we can talk about the contents of this new treaty. But even if there will be a new treaty or new regulation, but unless human beings change, the plastic pollution problem cannot be solved. Today, to challenge ourselves to solve the plastic pollution problem, we have the Ministry of the Environment and Kawasaki City, and also from private sectors, businesses. They will share a lot of stories from business perspective. And after that, we will have a panel discussion. So this is the background of today's Eco-Business Forum. So that concludes my speech, and I would like to ask the panelists, each panelist, to share their stories, and after that, we will start the panel discussion. So first, from Kawasaki City, Mr. Ishihara, could you start? Yes. Hello, everyone. I work at the Waste Policy Section, Living Environment Department and Environment Protection Bureau of Kawasaki City. My name is Kenichi Ishihara. I would like to start by talking about the plastic recycle project that Kawasaki City started. In Kawasaki City, we collect PET bottles from households, and we sort and recycle those PET bottles. And also, we have been educating citizens to recycle plastics. But recently, the environment surrounding the plastic is changing because we have ocean plastic waste and carbon neutral pursuit. So there's more need to reduce the plastic waste. And also the national government has enforced the Plastic Circulation Promotion Act. So in such a situation, we need to accelerate our initiative. And as part of that, as the mayor mentioned, we have launched the Kawasaki Plastic Recycle Project in April of 2022. So in this project, citizens and businesses and the government are working together to recycle the plastic, and we established a platform to do that. And today, we have a panelist from 7&I Holdings, and also other businesses. And they are also involved in this project. So let me share some specifics of this project. This is the image diagram on the screen. The first phase. So PET bottle is the first focus of this project. At 7-Eleven and Ito-Yokado, so there would be a PET bottle collection box, and the citizens would bring the PET bottles in those boxes. And through the recyclers, we will recycle those PET bottles to new PET bottles. And it would be coming back to citizens as a new PET bottle product. So it's a bottle-to-bottle recycling. It's very easy to understand and straightforward, and citizens can realize that they are recycling the plastics, and they can have a new behavior that they have sustainability in mind, and we encourage more citizens' behavioral change. We also partner with various businesses and sowing the seeds of those plastic recycle initiatives. And going forward, we would like to expand this to other plastic materials as well. Lastly, so there are many citizens with a very conscious of sustainability, and there are many sites that collect the plastics bottles, and there are many recycles. So we would like to take advantage of those to create the movement of plastic recycle. That's all from me. Thank you, Mr. Ishikawa. So next is Mr. Mizutani from the Ministry of the Environment, please.
Thank you very much. I'm Mizutani of the Ministry of Environment. And I would like to show you our national policies. And now, as you are seeing the slide of the earlier, Mr. Nakamura talked about the negotiation for convention, and in 2019 in Osaka summit, the Osaka Blue Ocean Vision was adopted, and at that time, the Japan as a chair country, direction of national policies was summarized, and that is the plastic recycling strategy. And that shows basic policy, 3R and renewable. And also we set up 6 milestones, and that is on this slide. So these are the basis for plastic countermeasures at this moment. Next slide, please. And this one was enacted last year, and this law has started enacted in April this year, the plastic resource circulation law. And so far, the plastic container recycling only got attention. However, now we are covering the entire plastic and focusing on the life cycle of the plastic. So the scope has expanded under this law. And for details, first in the design and manufacturing phase, the national government certify environmentally friendly products, and all plastic products are covered. And then the government shows design guidelines for manufacturers, and the excellent products are certified by the national government, and that mechanism has been established. And in the stage of sales and offering, the disposable plastics usage will be rationalized. And today we have a 7&I representative, and in the retailers, the fork, spoon, and straw are used, and in hotels, toothbrush are used. So the total of 12 items are designated, and the targets are set for these items, and also the initiatives are required, like point reward programs and charging and conversion to alternative materials. And in the stage of discharging, collection, and recycling, first of all, from households, container packaging are generated, and also from now on, plastic products 3R applied for all these plastic products and materials. And also, these initiatives are done not just by the national government and also by the municipality and consumers and businesses. So the government makes laws and also government extend support as well, such as subsidies, to reduce the financial burden of the municipality. So the government has prepared those initiatives, and also that those are reflected in our budget request. So policies and budgets are prepared by the national government to promote these initiatives. And please go back to the first slide. This is the the second page, and the left bottom shows the container selection, sorting, and commercialization of municipality. And Sendai was certified for the first time, and within this year, 2 more certifications are likely to given. So now we are in the consultation stage for this certification. So from now on, starting from next year, the full-scale enactment of this law will start, and the efforts are now being made for those laws. That's all from myself. Thank you very much, Mr. Mizutani. I focus on the business size. 80 trillion yen. Is that the market size? So that is based on the market government policy base, and now it's 50 trillion yen, and the market size is expected to increase to 80 trillion yen. So as part of the government national growth strategy, the government is now budgeting for this area. Yes, that area is expected to grow further, and I think that other panelists might have an opinion of that, so we would like to hear them later. And next, we would like to have a presentation by Ms. Tsuru of 700 High Holding. Thank you very much. I'm Tsuru of Sustainability Development Department of 7&I Holdings. Thank you very much for this valuable opportunity. And today, I think a lot of citizens are attending, and we, as a retailer, have grown together with you, and we are very much grateful for that. And what we need to do is shown here, and this time, not just for the environment, but I would like to focus on the plastic recycling. Our initiatives of plastic recycling in 7&I, I would like to share that information with you. And Grain Challenge 2050, that was announced by ourselves in 2019, and we have 4 themes, and this information is available on our website, so please look at that. And one of these themes is a plastic countermeasures, and as we have done our business for 100 years, starting with the Ito-Yokado business. And during this 100 years, we have grown. And nationwide, we have more than 20,000 stores. So as a result, we are using a lot of plastics. So safe and secure lifestyle for people is what we need to secure. And for this purpose, we are using a lot of plastics. So we need to take our responsibility for sure. So for recycling of natural resources, we made this declaration in 2019. And for plastic recycling, first, we started with plastic bottles, PET bottles, and the left side shows the track records of our plastic bottle collections. Very recently, about 20 million people participated in this program, and about 400 million bottles were collected. These are not only our products that we sold, but also the bottles that were used by consumers and cleaned at home and brought to our stores. The participation of our customers is very important in our model. And so this model is rolled out to other plastic recycling initiatives, and that could lead to the waste reduction. And we think that our stores have an important role in this initiative. And the right side shows material circular economy. What is important here is the pink one, the top. Customers are the most important. And with the support of Kawasaki City, we installed the bottle collection machines at our stores. So the customers, if customers clean the bottle, then it will be easier for us to collect the bottles, and those collected bottles come to the recyclers, and then they goes to bottlers, and then we sell those products again to the customers. And at the bottom there is a Hajime Ryokucha green tea product with the support of Coca-Cola. And these bottles of this product are 100% recycled plastics that are collected at our stores. So our initiative of plastic recirculation is supported by our customers. The PET plastic is a great product, but we cannot cover other type of plastics. That is the current issue that we have, and we would like to overcome this difficulty together with you. And this time, we were invited by Kawasaki City to participate in a plastic circulation project. So we are now participating in this project. This is the first step for us, we think. And how can we get more understanding from our customers to collect more, collect limited resources, and how to make use of limited resources? That is an important challenge for us. And as a retailer, together with our suppliers and consumers, we would like to run this good cycle. And this is the first step for us, and with your support, we would like to proceed with this step further. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I often go to a convenience store and looking for new products. And I look back the back of the product, or this is a recycling product. If I find it, I'm happy. Recently, 7 Premium Gateau Chocolat, all packages of that product are recycled products. And my kids are happy, and also I'm happy as a father. Thank you very much.
So next is from Mr. Takao from J-Plan. So my name is Takao I work for J-Plan, and thank you very much for this opportunity. So I've given 3 minutes. So I would like to share some business overview of J-Plan. So in 2007, our company was established. So we are a startup company. The reason that we started our business is that we wanted to circulate anything and everything. So circulation was the purpose of our company's foundation. We focus on plastic recycling. So it's one of the things that we are circulating. So I would like to talk about this PET bottle. So as you know already, the Japanese PET bottle recycle rate is 89%, and the collection rate is 93%. Compared to other countries, we achieve very high recycling rate. However, so recycling and circulation sound very similar, but they are a little different. Recycling is to collect waste and create something new. But what we should pursue, of course, recycling is important, but we would like to aim for one step further and to do circulation. So PET bottle would become another new PET bottle. So they keep on circulating. And by doing so, we do not incinerate. All those plastic waste would not be incinerated. So in order to achieve that, circulation is very important. To do that, we need new technology. As I said, in 2007, we founded our company, and we focused on technology development to achieve this circulation. Honestly speaking, it's very difficult. But right now, we are now we were successful in developing the technology to circulate this PET bottle. Let me talk a little bit about our strategy. So there's this compound that makes the PET, the polyethylene, polyethylene terephthalate. So we chemically change it to monomer. We depolymerize them to make it BHET, but this BHET has a lot of impurities, such as some residue liquid or some tobacco buds, and also some metal and mud and sand. Those are the impurities. And unless we remove those impurities, we cannot achieve the circulation. So we focused on that problem, and we developed the technologies to remove those impurities. And that technology is consists of distillation and crystallization. And by doing so, we were successful in removing the impurities. And the monomer gets polymerized again to develop the new PET. I also was a scientist and did a lot of research and development in lab. And the technology that was developed in lab cannot be commercialized overnight. We need to do scale up in a phased manner. So in northern Kyushu area, we built a pilot plant, and we advanced our technology further. And as a result, last year, here in Kawasaki City, we built the new plant that we can circulate this PET bottle as many times as we want using our technology. So in this factory, so we can circulate this PET bottle. And this is the first factory in the world that can achieve that, according to our research. And as a result, all those products, those complete circulation PET bottles come into existence, and already they are used in commercial products. Our dream is to turn those plastic waste into the treasure resource mountain. And of course, today's theme is business. So when we look at this as a business, do we look at this as a waste, or do we look at this as resources? That would change the value set. And to transform that, we need that technology. And including the capital investment, we've already invested more than 10 billion yen. So that kind of big investment is needed to achieve that. So how we can promote that investment is something that we would like to discuss together with other panelists. As Ms. Tsuryu said, we work together with the citizens so that they can bring bottles, and we would like to contribute in achieving the circular economy. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I also see this Bring logo in the city, and I think citizens' mindset is changing, and the importance of recycling is being permeated among the citizens. So in 5 or 10 years' time, we want to be able to say that the PET complete circulation rate is close to 100%. So next is from Tokyo Century Corporation, Mr. Aoki, please.
I'm Aoki of Global Business Division of Tokyo Century Corporation. Thank you very much. We are a finance company and leasing company, so we don't have specific technologies and know-hows. However, in the finance, through our finance and leasing, we we would like to support companies that have technologies for recycling businesses. And now let me introduce our company, Tokyo Century Corporation. Next page, please. This is the outline of our company. The name of the company is Tokyo Century. Up to 5 years ago, our name of the company was Tokyo Century Leasing, but we are challenging other than the leasing more and more, so the name of the company changed to Tokyo Century. And the number of employees is 7,600, and also the sales is 1.2 trillion yen. So we are a company of this size, and we have 4 major operating segments. And please look at our website so that you will know what we are doing. And we are operating globally. We have operation in 37 countries. And from now on, I would like to talk about Tokyo Century's management philosophy. Next page, please. Contributing to the realization of an environment-friendly, recycling-oriented economic society. That is our management philosophy. A leasing company takes care of introduction and disposal of assets, so reduce, reuse, recycle. And today's theme is challenges of a plastic recycling city in a recycling-oriented economy and society. So Kawasaki City's initiative, we would like to support these initiatives very much. Next page, please. So the environmental friendly, recycling oriented society and economy, we would like to realize that. And we have core competencies for that. 1, financing and services. 2, partnership strategy. The 3, highly professional talents. These are our core competencies. And this is an example of our business. We issue green bonds for financing, and more than 80 sites in Japan, although this slide says 75 solar power plants, and actually we have more than 80 solar power plants operating throughout Japan. And ESG finance, we have some cases, sustainability and linked loans. And based on the achievement of business goals for SDGs, the interest rates are provided. And so those are the loans linked with those interest rates. And this is what we are offering. And in the international area, we have an American subsidiary, CSI Leasing. It is strong in IT, and then this company provides IT equipment to people around the world. And I talked about 3R, and in particular, as a IT lifecycle management at CSI, ITAD is provided as a service. And ITAD service is rolled out around the world. This division of data and also the shredding IT devices, those ITAD services are provided. And in the financial services, and this says JCM, Joint Crediting Mechanism. Our international divisions provides the excellent environmental equipment to our partner countries with the support of Japanese government subsidy. Next slide, please. And here is a scheme diagram on this slide. Together with the Ministry of Environment, we are making use of subsidy and financing to deploy excellent environmental equipment to our partner countries. And now we have 24, or Japan has 24 partner countries in this program. And here is our partnership strategy. That is the second core competence that we have. As I mentioned earlier, we are a financing company, so we alone cannot complete a certain thing. So we are collaborating with partners who have technology. So we establish joint venture companies together with those partners. And we are collaborating with these companies while we are developing human talents and highly professional talents. And this time, the challenge for Plastic Recycling City by Kawasaki City, even for this project, we would like to collaborate with businesses in Kawasaki City more and more. That's all. Thank you very much, Mr. Aoki. And that's it for the presentation by the panelists. And we have about 30 minutes, so we would like to start panel discussion now.
So yes, the challenge for a plastic recycling city, I think we start to understand the meaning of challenge, and there are new issues that we start to see from their presentation. So we need to transform our way of thinking and our value system, including myself, and I think all of you are here. So the mass production, mass consumption, that was the era that we were living in. And because of that, the economy grew and the capital economy grew, but that is not sustainable anymore. So that's our current situation. So we have three major crises: the biodiversity, climate change, and also the pollution. Those are the three major crises that we are facing. And the plastic pollution issue is a very urgent issue. But thanks to plastic, now we are living this convenient life. But rather than just using because it's convenient, we need to transform our society to be more sustainable, and we need to coexist with the plastics. And as much as possible, we should recycle the used plastic. If we cannot do that, maybe there would be new disposable technology that we can apply, and that should be in the center of our community and the center of our lifestyle. So that is what is needed for us to do. So we need to change our value system to be more sustainable value system. So how can we make our value system more sustainable? So that is the question to all the panelists. So in order to change our value system to be more sustainable, what do you think? Yes, thank you very much for the question. Yes, in order to change our value mindset. So what I think is, so just by listening to other people's stories, it wouldn't change. So action is what is needed. So consumption behavior or purchasing behavior, to use it as an example. Let's say in the past, we buy something, use it, and it becomes a waste, and we dispose them or recycle them. But in order to change our values, when we buy something, so the recycling or the environmental protection and the purchasing behavior becomes as a set. So I think that is important. So specifically, what kind of thing? So maybe this clothes that I'm wearing, and this is the recycled clothes using the J-Plan technology, and we sell this online. And those who purchased the clothes, we actually send an envelope to collect as well. And they can actually send their unnecessary used clothes to our factories. So we encourage the circulation. So that is what we are making together with the consumers. So that could be the trigger to change their value. Yes, it's very important to start something very easy to do, and there would be some new insights and discoveries. Yes, my jacket that I'm wearing today. Actually, it's 100% recycled from the PET materials. Maybe it doesn't look like a fancy suit, but it's my value. Either to buy a very gorgeous jacket, or shall I buy the jacket with recycled material? So I think that's one example of changing the value system, and that could be a new movement. Of course, we should start from something easy to do, and that is how we can change our value. And next, I would like to ask Mr. Mizutani from the Ministry of Environment. So, as a company's policy, is there anything that can change the people's value to more be sustainable? In terms of changing the value, there's a new law that was enforced in April this year. It's not enough, but it's a good starting point to change the values of the people. So plastic and package and recycle, and also other plastic resources will be also included in the scope, and reduce, reuse, and not just recycle. So that is the entire lifestyle change. So the new concept is incorporated in this new law. And also, the plastic bag that is used in the retailers, and that became commercial, so it's not free of charge anymore. So that was a big turning point in changing citizens' behavior. So in the convenience stores or other retail stops, and now people have to pay for the plastic bags, and that really driven the value transformation of the people. And what is needed going forward? So we need to make the environmental value visible. Mr. Honda also mentioned that we need to make it transparent and visible that those materials are the recycled materials, and where and how they were recycled, and how your waste gets recycled at where. So if that becomes visible to the citizens, that could improve the motivation of recycling. And also, so that would accelerate the initiatives for bigger goals such as carbon neutral. Yes, the plastic bag to be commercial, not free of charge anymore. And back then, the Minister of the Environment said, by carrying your own bag, you can start to see something else. So that was just a starting point to pay or replace the plastic bag with the eco bag or my bag. And that would be a trigger to realize something new. So now all the mineral water in the paper bag, and also the bamboo charcoal is used, and I also carry around my bottle. So the value of the people are changing. And also, as Mr. Mizutani said, this kind of small things would be accumulated. And can we reduce the temperature rise? Can we reduce it down to 1.5 or 2.8? All those accumulation of small actions would have a big impact in the climate change, and that has a direct link. And in order to change the value, we should start from something small and easy to do, such as stop buying the plastic bag and carry your own bag to the grocery store. Okay, same question to Ms. Tsuryu. Ms. Tsuryu, do you have any comment? I think I have two things to say. First, how to make consumers understand in the plastic bags In 2019, the environmental declaration was issued by Seven & I Holding, and how to reduce the plastic waste. So that was our focus, and we promoted our resource circulation. And the first focus is how to reduce the plastic waste. So making the plastic bag commercial. So that was a big change. And April 1st of 2020, and in 7-Eleven overnight at midnight, it became not free of charge, and we started to charge for plastic bags. So I went in the following morning, and right after that midnight, there was a drastic reduction of plastic bag, and it was more than 80%. So I was impressed how great the Japan's nation is. 80 or 85% of the consumers do not buy the plastic bags, and it is the same for other retailers as well. So yes, making the laws and regulations is a strong push towards plastic waste reduction.
And for one more thing, for changing values, we are in the middle of supply chain. This is what I said earlier. And Takao-san said that it's not easy to visualize, but its circulation visible. I think it's hard for consumers to see that. And there are marks on the back of the products. However, it's hard to see whether this is fully recyclable products or not. So what we are thinking with our suppliers is as follows. In Japan, the consumers are sensitive to best by when days. So we have followed such customers' request. So extending the best by day, then we can reduce food losses. So plastic materials are fully utilized to extend the best by date for food. So we will continue to use practice for that purpose. And the food also can be eaten at good taste. So for this purpose, plastics are designed, and multiple layers of plastics are used as a container. So currently, the very high-level specifications are applied for plastics to make food more tasty. But is it possible to lower the level of specification? And now the recyclable material can also extend the best by days. However, if the consumers are willing to accept a shorter best by days, then more easily recyclable materials could be used. So the technologies is not fully developed yet for full circulation of PET bottles, but actually it is getting successful. And in the PET material, we are using plastics for our cooked food that we sell. So in order to have a full circulation, we are now challenging environmentally friendly design for our packages. So for this purpose, we need to change our values. So if we can accept more, then we can increase more circulation of the plastics. So the customer's understanding is important, and how to promote the visualization of recycling, that is also important. And however, we need to display that information due to regulation. But even from all these perspectives, we need to challenge so that we can create a situation where consumers are willing to cooperate. And that is an important situation for us. So for this purpose, we would like to continue to take our measures. Thank you very much. and the plastic shopping bags, that topic made people aware that the development of plastic bags. How is it developed? Now, people regard plastics as bad thing. However, the plastics function to make food more tastier. That is great. And when I work overseas in UN, thanks to the PET bottle, plastic bottles, people can drink clean water. And people, in some countries, people buy 10 small bags of shampoo, although because they cannot buy a bottle of shampoo. So I think that it's important to understand that aspect. Thank you very much. So now we have a little bit less than 10 minutes, so we would like to move on to the second topic. This is an eco-business forum. So how are we going to address plastic issues in business? I think that is an interesting topic for you. And Aoki-san talked about financial services. I think in that area there are some options. And in the past, the investment was not so much done in the environment. However, now in order to solve social issues, now the investment and financial services are also focusing on the circular economy. So Aoki-san, Mr. Aoki, I would like to have your comment showing some examples. Now, the sustainability is becoming a trend even in the financial field. And do you have any examples of options that you are seeing in society? And we are a finance service company, and we offer finance lease. But as I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of contents in my presentation, so I just talked about the titles. So now there are actually a lot of finance products that are linked with environment, and we issue green bonds. And 80 solar firms are operating in Japan, and for these green bonds are also utilized. And sustainability linked loan, that is often talked about in newspapers, and this is for SDGs, and the environmental targets and business targets are set. Then once the company achieves them, then they can enjoy lower interest rates. So for items directly linked with environment, we are providing financing, and that is an emerging trend from now on. And for subsidies, so overseas, in emerging countries, the great low carbon equipment is hard to procure. So in that case, the JCM is utilized to introduce those equipment in emerging countries. So such subsidies should be more and more utilized, and we would like to help that process. Thank you very much. And I think you may have many questions, and Takao-san said that 10 billion yen is invested, and for recycling, there is a trend of investment. And also in Japan, we learned something from pollution. And upfront investment in environment, then that is actually cheaper compared with the countermeasures once something happened. And the circular economy is important for carbon neutrality, so it gathers a lot of funding. I think Mr. Takao may have had difficulty in funding, but if possible, could you please comment on specific challenges or proposal? Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, in 2007, we established our company. At that time, 1.2 million yen, and including 200,000 yen of my saving. That was the original paid-in capital. And we developed our technologies, and that required a lot of investment. And actually, from a venture capital, a small amount of capital was invested. But it took 7 years, up to 2014, to receive that investment. And in 2007, people said that the environmental business is not profitable, so don't do that. Those are the messages. So we had a situation. We had such a situation. However, we continued to develop our technology despite such difficulty. And thankfully, this business has to be done so that investment is made. Of course, making profits is important. However, this business itself must be done so that we need to invest in this business. So that is a new trend we are seeing, so that society has changed in that way. We are a private sector company, so we need to make investment. However, now we can make an investment in our business. So toward that direction, the environment has changed. So as a private sector company, we talked with investors for funding, and we invest in our technology development. So now the time has changed for us to be able to do this. And please don't stop this trend. That is what I feel strongly.
We should not stop this trend, because this trend is starting. The sustainability becomes important in people's mind, and that becomes viable as a business. And as Ms. Tani-san shared the data, there's a size of 80 trillion yen, and it's quite big from global scheme. And there are a lot of opportunities in the developing countries as well. There are a lot of startup companies that are starting in this business. Yes. It's going to be a tough challenge in this market, but it's going to be the most important eco-business sector in the next 10 or 20 years. So we want to really continue this trend. Then we can achieve SDGs and also carbon neutral goal of 2050, and also the PET bottle complete circulation 100% would be surely achieved, and various products materials, recycled materials. So we can start to see the kind of future. We want to take this opportunity to imagine that kind of society with the audience and panelists, and to get connected. That's important in the SDGs, and we should pursue for the new goal. We have about 5 minutes left. But if there's no time constraint, we can continue to discuss for another half day. And next year would be the 20th Eco Business Forum, so that would be a big milestone. So we would like to continue that discussion probably next time. And maybe we want each panelist to give us the key message. And I am distributing a whiteboard to the panelists. And please write one word as a key message to the audience. Please wait a little bit. Now that I received this whiteboard, I would like to write as well. While we are writing on the whiteboard, maybe we give some more time. Are you ready? Okay, we have the camera on the back. And please show the board to the camera. Are you getting this? Maybe on YouTube, there's some time lag of a few seconds. Just making sure that those boards are on the camera, on the screen. Yeah, there's a 30 seconds time lag between the venue and the YouTube. Yes, now we can see the panelists' board. Okay, we ask each panelist. Mr. Takao, what did you write? So let's do it together. So we've been developing technology, but not just one company, but there are a lot of collaboration with the universities, academia, and also research institute. We should do it together to achieve the circulation economy. So not just the technology development, but also to develop the social institution. So we should all work together. Ms. Tsuryu? It's about the same as Mr. Takao. Ring or harmony. So it's a circular economy, so we want to do this in harmony. And yes, for us retailers, we've been competing. But in this world, we need to work in harmony. Otherwise, we can't overcome our challenges. So the harmony is needed for that. Mr. Aoki? Yes, I think it's the same as other panelists. And as the slogan says, symbiosis is important. So Tokyo Century alone cannot do this alone. So we would like to collaborate with various partners. So Mr. Mizutani? Yes, similarly, it's partnership. So not just the government making the laws, all the stakeholders, citizens, businesses, and public and private should have partnership. And also the visibility is very important. So we make the environmental value more visible. So that would be instrumental in changing the value of the society and also solicit financing and funding. Thank you. Mr. Ishihara? Well, maybe message is the same as a panelist. But recycle, domino is the words that I wrote. For example, maybe taking this forum as a trigger, and I'm sure a lot of audience are watching this on YouTube. Regarding the plastic recycle and about the sustainability, we should have like a domino effect, and we should spread this movement from this community to the rest of the world. It's not that we discussed this in advance, but I think all of us have something in common, and that should be in the center. And each and every one of us, what we can do alone is limited. But by combining our efforts, and if we can have a horizontal connection and a wide network, then we would be able to solve various environmental issues and achieve the circular economy and leading to a reduction of plastic waste. And I put the word eco is the dead center. So we are no longer living in the materialistic world. We can become happy when we contribute to the environment. And I think we can start very easily. in our life, just do something eco-friendly once a day, and that can be horizontally connected. And consumers, retailers, businesses, and government, and regardless of the borders or nations, we should get a connection, and we can solve those social issues together. And also, when we think of this in the business perspective, there would be a global trend, and we can shift the tide to the ideal society. So that concludes today's panel discussion. All the panelists, thank you very much for your contribution.
So please, I will hand over to the moderator, Mr. Honda, our panelist. Thank you very much. And lastly, we would like to have closing remarks by Mr. Mitamura, the Director of Environmental Bureau of the City of Kawasaki. Mr. Mitamura, please. My name is Mitamura. I'm a Director of Environmental Bureau of Kawasaki City. And thank you very much for attending the 19th Kawasaki International Eco-Business Forum. And Mr. Honda, today's coordinator, and all our panelists. And from them, we have received the very valuable latest information and very useful discussion. Thank you very much for that. And in this forum, the circular economy and carbon neutrality, these are what we would like to achieve. And for this purpose, each one of us need to have common values, sustainability. And also, we need to change our behaviors with those values. And we have that findings in this forum. And in today's forum, we know that each stakeholder need to take approaches for this purpose. And in this forum, with the cooperation and understanding of everyone, we have continued this activity. And in order for us to fulfill our duty as a municipality, we would like to make more and more challenges with the support of all of you. And I hope that today's forum will provide a good opportunity for you to succeed in future. And earlier from UNEP, Mr. Nakamura, who made the address as a co-organizer. And also, I would like to thank all the other attendants and speakers of this forum on this occasion. And then this is the remarks for closing of this forum. Thank you very much for your attendance today. Thank you very much, Mr. Mitamura. And this concludes the 19th Kawasaki International Eco-Business Forum. And today's video will be available on an on-demand basis on YouTube Live and the official site of Kawasaki International Environmental Technology Exhibition. And we appreciate if you fill the questionnaire. And once again, thank you very much for your attendance in today's forum.